Government starting calls for chicken ban lift. Premier thanked Putrajaya for amending federal constitution to be in sync with MA 63, and Sarawak poised to become a preferred investment destination. Those are the headlines for tonight. Good evening, everyone. You're Media Salita, and this is TVS Nightline. We begin with our top story. Prime Minister Dr. Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the government is looking into a proposal to lift the ban on the export of chicken. He said the matter is being discussed with the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industries (MAFI), and the outcome would be decided based on the chicken output for next month to ensure that it doesn't affect the local supplies.
This comes after poultry breeders made an application to the government to review the ban on chicken export. He added if supply in the local market drops, prices will increase dramatically and it would affect local consumers. Thus, he said the government is taking into consideration the interests of all parties and ensuring that the people will not be adversely affected by its decision. Adding that MAFI is expected to table its report on projected chicken production next week. Similarly, the Prime Minister has also instructed the Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry to prepare a list of goods that have become cheaper and those which have yet to see a price drop.
Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, expressed his gratitude to the federal government for amending the federal constitution in relation to Malaysia Agreement 1963 MA 63. He said that the amendment will be the basis for the development of the Malaysian family concept.
Dan dalam tahun yang lepas, kerajaan telah meminda perlembagaan kita dengan memasuki beberapa faktor-faktor yang menjadi asas kewujudan Malaysia. Saya mengambil kesempatan ini untuk mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Kerajaan Persekutuan yang telah sanggup meminda perlembagaan kita dan mengambil kira Perjanjian Malaysia yang menjadi asas kewujudan negara Malaysia. Di samping itu, mengiktiraf laporan IGC. Ini adalah rangka perundangan yang harus kita hormati dalam kita membangunkan keluarga Malaysia yang sentiasa aman dan damai.
In December 2021, the bill to amend the federal constitution in relation to MA 63 was approved when it secured a two-thirds majority support from the members of parliament. The decision made by the federal government has strengthened his commitment to improve the urban and rural development in Sarawak. Abang Johari said this when speaking at the launch of the state-level National Month celebration and the waving of the Jalur Gemilang 2022 at Kuching Waterfront on Saturday.
Sarawak is targeting an economic growth of 6 to 8% by the year 2030, in line with its goal of achieving the status as a developed and high-income region. Premier Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg disclosed a statement by Bank Negara Malaysia that the outlook on the state's economic growth for the second half of the year is positive.
Dan saya ucap tahniah semalam kita mendengar laporan daripada Bank Negara mengenai dengan pertumbuhan ekonomi kita dalam angka 8% hingga 9%. Dan bagi negeri Sarawak, sebab kita menuju ke arah negeri maju 2030, jangka panjangnya kita juga perkenalkan GDP growth dalam lingkungan 6 hingga 8%.
Earlier, Malaysia's economy was reported to have recorded an unexpected growth of 8.9% in the second quarter of 2022. This achievement can be attributed to the many initiatives carried out by the government to fulfill the domestic demands and provide job opportunities, especially to those who had lost their jobs due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The percentage is stronger than 2022's first quarter of Malaysia's gross domestic product, GDP, which was recorded at 5%. In summary, Malaysia's economic growth for the first half of 2022 is indicated as healthy at 6.9%.
Meanwhile, foreign investors have shown great confidence in Sarawak as a preferred investment destination due to the policies that are currently in place, which reflect the state's political stability and vision as it develops industries of the future.
Alhamdulillah, saya nampak bahawa keyakinan pelaburan kepada ekonomi Sarawak begitu tinggi dengan pelaburan yang menjangkau 60 bilion ringgit injection kepada ekonomi kita, dan saya yakin anak-anak Sarawak harus meningkatkan kepakaran dan juga skill supaya kita dapat memakmurkan negeri kita dalam ekonomi yang mampan, khususnya membangun luar bandar, dan supaya mereka dapat menikmati apa juga kemudahan moden bagi mewujudkan satu keluarga Malaysia yang moden di keluarga Sarawak yang indah ini.
Abang Johari also stressed that under Gabungan Parti Sarawak's leadership, he will continue to implement a long-term economic plan geared towards the high-income state by 2030, which includes developing rural areas.
Itu kerjaan pimpinan saya GPS menekankan pembangunan jangka panjang dengan menambah nilai tambah kepada sumber-sumber yang ada di Sarawak dan juga mewujudkan hala tuju supaya Sarawak juga membangun sebagai sebuah negeri yang maju berpendapatan tinggi. Inilah hasrat kita bersama. Seperti mana saya sebutkan dengan Perdana Menteri, kalau Sarawak maju, Malaysia juga maju.
The state-level National Month and Fly the Jalur Gemilang 2022 celebration kicked off today on a grand scale, with the Kembara Merdeka Keluarga Malaysia convoy sent off at the State Legislative Assembly building. The convoy was flagged off by Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg. With this year's theme of Keluarga Malaysia Teguh Bersama, the celebration started with a Zumba event and a walk along Kuching's waterfront. Appearing in Sejahtera Asia, Abang Johari said that in addition to celebrating the nation's diversity and independence, everyone also has a role to play in ensuring that political stability is maintained.
Ya, kita ada mempunyai dasar ke arah 2030. Maka dengan adanya kebebasan ini kita gunakan untuk kita membangunkan negeri dan rakyat supaya Sarawak sentiasa makmur dan kita terus dapat berkhidmat demi untuk masa depan negeri kita yang aman. Yang penting ialah kestabilan politik dan juga perjuangan kita yang harus kita teruskan.
With over 4,000 kilometers of journey from Teluk Melano to Lawas, the Kembara Merdeka Keluarga Malaysia convoy will pass 33 districts in Sarawak with 37 pit stops. The convoy will then return back to Betong on August 31st for the state-level National Month celebration. The Department of Statistics Malaysia, DOSM, released data that shows a decline in the number of students who chose not to pursue their tertiary education. It showed that out of 560,000 SPM school leavers, 390,000 or 72.1% have decided not to pursue higher studies. This pattern is concerning as the trend progressed from 2019 to 2021, coupled with the pandemic. Now, will such decline reflect a negative or a possible positive impact on the country? Earlier this week, we had the chance to speak with Professor Dr. Ismi Arif Ismail, University Putra Malaysia's Deputy Vice Chancellor for Academic and International, on the matter.
Whether to go straight to tertiary institutions or they want to, find a job first, get them settled down, then only, they might reconsider to go into tertiary institutions. Education is very important, for individuals, in terms of your social mobility, so on and so forth. So the declining number for me does not reflect that the majority of students are not interested.
Opportunities are prevalent in social media, and many of our youths are attracted to this idea of generating fast and most often easy income. A generation that leverages on digital technology is essential, said Ismi, as it will complement those who are highly trained professionally in their respective fields.
Based on studies conducted, even with this, this cyber generation, mushrooming, it does not affect on the number, because we should be fair that everyone is educated depending on the degree, that you expose yourself to. But to say that the social media generation will affect and will have us having less number of highly educated people, I think is wrong. I would say that in the future we are going to have these diverse professions complementing one another.
Another factor that contributes to low enrollment, admitted Ismi, is on the amount of salary being offered to fresh graduates who have just completed their study. The topic has been debated for a long period of time, not only among graduates, but is a concerning matter for the country. According to the Malaysian Employers Federation, the low starting salaries for fresh graduates is temporary, as individuals are required to equip themselves with the much-needed skills in creating a demand for themselves in this competitive era. But should this be practiced in the long run?
The National Employment Council is trying very hard, to make sure that we can really, pay properly, give the right salary or wages, to our people. But of course, this is work under construction. I believe that the industry has to work, closely with all the relevant stakeholders, including the tertiary institutions, to ensure that we can really give the right pay to commensurate, with the level of education possessed by our people. Of course, the advice that we can give is you start first, gain the experience, and as you go along, and as you add more value, to yourself professionally and personally, then you can demand for a better salary or better pay. And I am sure that industries are willing to pay more if you have demonstrated that you have upskilled yourself, you have all the added value.
Still to come, Iban singer wows audiences on TikTok, and stage collab skills won in Spain's music festival. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. You're watching TVS Nightline. Now, veteran Iban singer Winnie Albert is trending online on TikTok after a video of her singing a cover of Datuk Siti Nurhaliza's Percayalah went viral. The video of her singing at Rumah Asap Tewan Dayak on Friday night was shared by fellow Dayak musician Dino, and since then has gotten tens of thousands of likes and reactions overnight.
Among those who commended Winnie's rendition of the song was singer Ajay, who is also the song's composer, where he pointed out that in addition to having a good voice and perfect pitch, the feel of the performance without going overboard is equally important to make the whole song great and enjoyable to listen to. Other Malaysian celebrity who was impressed by Winnie's singing was comedian Harith Iskandar, who took to Instagram to sing praises of her performance and liken her voice to the late artist Adibah Noor. Winnie Albert is a well-known Iban singer and an icon in Sarawak music scene.
The government intends to build a drag racing circuit in all states to further drive the development of motorsports in the country. Prime Minister Datuk Seri SARAWAK said the proposal would be included in the 2023 budget to provide youth the opportunity to participate in motorsports activities through proper channels and at the same time reduce the negative perception of riders.
Bagi menunjukkan sokongan kerajaan kepada aktiviti riders seperti ini, bagi mengurangkan aktiviti tidak sihat di jalan-jalan dan sebagainya. Jadi saya ingin mengumumkan bahawa kerajaan akan membina litar drag untuk drag race di setiap negeri di seluruh negara. Cadangan ini akan dimasukkan ke dalam bajet 2023 yang akan dibentangkan pada bulan Oktober nanti.
Ismail Sabri said that currently 2 drag racing circuits have been built, one in Terengganu and the other in Melaka. He also said the government is always ready to support activities by the motoring club, especially in helping those affected by hardship. Ismail Sabri also called on the young people to participate in grassroots motoring development programs such as the MyFit at Motorsports 2022, which allows participants to gain knowledge through training, courses and clinic. The program also helps in scouting new talents for participation in motor tournaments and racing at the state and national level.
Datuk Seri Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar said the drafting of the political funding bill will be expedited so that it can be tabled in the Dewan Rakyat by October. The minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Parliament and Law said the bill will ensure transparency and accountability within the political administration of the country. The draft bill preparation would also enable all stakeholders to be consulted as per the timeline prepared by the Governance, Integrity and Anti-Corruption Centre, GIACC. Discussions have been held, according to Wan Junaidi, on the establishment of a regulating entity for political funding, types of funding allowed and penalties for offences under the proposed bill. His statement came following a meeting with GIACC, Attorney General Chambers, the Registrar of Societies, the Companies Commission of Malaysia, and Legal Affairs under the Prime Minister's Department. Inputs from non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and the public should also be taken into account when preparing the bill, as per the advice of Wan Junaidi's office and the AGC. The bill, added Wan Junaidi, was Putrajaya's own initiative to boost transparency, governance, and accountability. It is not part of the government's Memorandum of Understanding with Pakatan Harapan. Political funding refers to the raising of funds for political parties to be utilized during the election campaigns, daily operations, and other activities. Illegal farming activities in highland areas can pose risk of landslides or heavy floods if the activity is not closely monitored and proper action taken by the authorities. Thus, Senior Public Works Minister Dato Sri Fadillah Yusof said his ministry, together with the relevant state government bodies and authorities, are working together towards a solution to reduce illegal farming.
He said that if left unmonitored, illegal farming activities could damage the infrastructure and expose lands to various risks, which in turn could cause inconveniences such as flash floods and road closures. Fadillah was met after inspecting the Pulai Blue Valley Junction Road near Cameron Highlands on Saturday. Fadillah added that there were 3 landslides that occurred, with 2 of them near to Cameron Highlands believed to be caused by land shifts. The repair works for the area started on July 1st, costing 122 million ringgit and is estimated to be completed by June of 2025.
Welcome back. 1 person died while dozens were injured when high winds caused parts of a stage at a music festival in Spain to collapse in the early hours of Saturday. Other infrastructure was also damaged when gusts battered the 6-day music festival, causing it to be suspended.
Regional health authorities said that at least 40 people were receiving treatment. Of the numbers, 3 suffered serious trauma injuries and 14 had more minor injuries. Spain's National Weather Agency said there had been strong gusts of wind and a sudden rise in temperatures during the night, with gusts of over 80 kilometers per hour in the Valencia region. In a statement, the organizers said they are devastated and saddened by the incident. They said extraordinary weather conditions occurred around 4 a.m. local time and had caused damage to various infrastructures on the festival site.
11 individuals, including civilians, were killed during a prison face-off between 2 rival cartels, namely the Sinaloa cartel and Los Mexicles in the state of Chihuahua, Mexico. The fight, which broke out on Thursday, August 11, escalated further the next day when a riot broke out, prompting authorities to deploy some 300 soldiers to the scene. Another 300 soldiers are expected to follow, and so far the cause of the clash is still unknown.
Continuaremos nuestra lucha contra la impunidad. Y a la sociedad juarense quiero decirles que tengan la confianza y la certeza que las autoridades estamos actuando con la convicción para recuperar todos los espacios que nos corresponden y que la delincuencia nos pretende quitar. No vamos a descansar hasta restablecer el orden y emplearemos los recursos necesarios para lograrlo.
The riot first took place in the city area, where 9 were killed and 4 of them were employees of a radio station. Its director, Jose Ramon LOYA, demands justice for the loss.
Decirles también que pues el día de ayer apagaron no una, sino 4 voces, ¿verdad?, de nuestra empresa, pero que jamás nos quedaremos callados ante la impunidad, ¿verdad? Y que seguiremos siendo eco de la sociedad en nuestras diferentes estaciones emisoras para que las autoridades puedan exigirse un poquito más en ese reclamo que toda la sociedad, no solamente nosotros, sino toda la sociedad está pidiendo.
At press time, 6 members of the Mexicals were allegedly arrested by police. The clash between the cartels has led to the public and private properties destruction, including buses, taxis, and convenience stores set ablaze.
On Sejahtera Asia tomorrow, host Wan Olive and Sharon Kezia will be joined by popular Malaysian singer Ernie Zakri to discuss her upcoming first concert slated to take place in October. Plus, they'll be joined by modern dance instructor Kimi Sibat. 7:45 a.m. only on TVS Astro Channel 122 and My Free View. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news update, both locally and internationally, just a click away by heading onto our website at TVSTVMY or follow us on our social media. That's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Douglas Elliott. Thank you for watching.